يومين لما يزول يعرف اوقات بتاع تخريج وحاجات ده ما بتعرف قسمه بتسمي النشيد الوطني وحاجات ده كله من اجل وطن ما طلعوا برا من جنوب السودان لسه برضه يهو في جنوب السودان وما طلعوا برا من الشرطه والشرطه قالوا في خدمات الشعب محل ما الشعب موجود فيه انت لازم توصل فيه وتخدم خدمه بتاعت الشرطه للشعب.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio. Your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The UN peacekeeping chief Jean Pierre has warned that South Sudan's peace process is heading in a dangerous direction, putting the country's stability and the 2026 elections at risk. The Ministry of Justice and Constitutional has presented to the Parliament the Mining Act Amended Bill 2025, which seeks to repeal the current law and introduce a strong oversight in the mining sector. On the 20th session of the Special Court trying suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 accused was cut short this morning at Freedom Hall because of power outage. These stories are more coming in this news bulletin with me, Diko De Andrew. Now the news in details. The UN peacekeeping chief Jean Pierre has warned that the South Sudan peace process is heading in a dangerous direction, putting the country's stability and the 2026 elections at risk. Speaking to the UN Secretary Council yesterday, Pierre said trust among South Sudanese key political leaders has dropped sharply over the past 3 months. He blamed the growing mistrust on repeated ceasefire violations and ongoing clashes between the signatories of the revitalized peace agreement or the RCES. Pierre says the crisis is driven by repeated unrelated decisions, highlighting the removal of opposition appointees from the transitional government of the National Unity, Artigoni, which he said seems to have sacrificed the principle of inclusivity at the heart of the peace ideal. He added that political compress is shrinking fast, leaving transitional security arrangements still and delaying process on the constitution making and electoral process. He said in a statement, and I quote, "Credible and peace election within the timeline of the peace agreement in December 2026 appears increasingly improbable." End of quote. Pierre called for fresh political commitment and dialogue among South Sudan's leaders, echoing the African Union earlier call for IGAD and neighboring countries to step up efforts to make sure the peace agreement is fully implemented. The Ministry of Justice and Constitutional has presented the parliamentarian the Mining Act Amended Bill 2025, which seeks to repeal the current law and introduce a strong oversight in the mining sector. It's also aimed to align South Sudan's Mining Act 2012 with the revitalized peace agreement, the transitional constitution, and international best practice for managing mineral resources. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Dr. Joseph Gang, told lawmakers that the proposed changes are meant to strengthen the legal and institutional framework of the mining industry. He said that the bill will establish 3 new bodies: the South Sudan Geological Survey Agency, the Mining Corporation, the Mining Authority. According to Dr. Article 4, Sub-Article 7, Clause 1, Paragraph 9 of the Revitalized Peace Agreement requires the government to review existing mining laws to ensure they comply with the peace deal and constitution. And he happened to be saying this.
The bill consists of 84 amendment sections affecting 26 chapters of the Principal Act. The amendment bill has added 2 new chapters as follows. 6th Amendment. A. Chapter 1. Preliminary provisions that are found in sections 1 to 7. The chapter provides for citation of the amendment bill by adding the phrase Amendment Bill 2025. The amendments specify the purpose of the bill and provide for new terms and their definitions to conform to the revitalized agreement and the transitional constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011.
The bill has 84 sections covering 26 chapters of the current Act, and it adds 2 new chapters that focus on institutional establishment and management of mineral operations. If passed, the Geological Survey Agency will be responsible for identifying mineral-rich areas and advising the government, while the Mining Corporation will serve as the government's investment arm. The bill also seeks to tighten the issuing of mining license. It bars individuals with criminal records and public officials with vested interests from obtaining them. It further introduces corporate social responsibility obligation to ensure that local communities benefit from mining activities. Other provisions focus on protecting the environment, improving mine health and safety, and publishing royalty schedules to promote transparency in the revenue collection. Dr. Joseph said the Council of Ministers approved the bill through the resolution number 80/2024 during its meeting on October 11, 2024, before sending it to the Assembly for debate. The bill has now been referred to the Specialist Committee of Parliament for reviewing and will return to the floor within 14 working days for the second reading. Tuesday's session was chaired by Deputy Speaker Ariel Along. The 20th session of the Special Court trying suspended First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 co-accused was cut short this morning at Freedom Hall because of power outage. The court had started on time with all the parties present except the 4th and the 6th accused who were reported absent due to health problems, but there was no light in the courtroom promoting justice. Stephen Simon, one of the preceding judges, to announce the adjournment. Today's hearing was expected to allow the judges to question the chief investigator and consider applications from both prosecution and defense team. The next session will resume on Friday, November 14th, 2025. The Embassy of South Sudan in Kenya has announced that the country will be taking part in the ongoing East African Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Trade Fair in Nairobi. In a statement seen by iRadio, the embassy in the Kenyan capital said South Sudan has been allocated Thursday, 13th November 2025 as a day for exhibition. The Day Trade Fair, now its 25th year, brings together all 8 East African Community member states, including South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo and Somalia, are also joining the event for the first time this year. The embassy says the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the partnership with South Sudanese leading women enterprises will host the national booth. The adds that both will showcase a wide range of high quality and organic product made in South Sudan. On display will be agriculture products such as gum arabic, rice, beans, coffee, honey, hibiscus, sesame and peanuts. Other products includes oil and butter such as shea nilotic butter and raw shea butter, as well as lulu oil, sesame oil, peanut oil and sunflower oil. The fair will also feature flours and grains including posho flour, cassava flour and wheat flour, together with dried goods like okra and sweet potatoes. Visitors can also find food and beverages such as sugar, salt, milk, peanut butter, cookies called kabis, tea leaves and food flavors. Natural skincare and toiletries are on display, include laundry bar soaps, washing powder and specialized treatment product. Finally, there will be handcraft and textiles including beads, artifacts, bed sheets and other culture items. The embassy says the business community, investors and the general public are invited to visit the South Sudan booth and engage directly with innovators and experience our unique product and explore potential partnership. You're still listening to iRadio News. Meanwhile, South Sudan's parliament representative to the United Nations, Cecilia Deng, has told the Security Council that the 2018 revitalized peace agreement remains the only path towards stability in the country. Adeng said the peace deal continues to guide efforts for peace, reconciliation, and institutional reform within the government. She reaffirmed the country's commitment to completing the transitional period including the unfiction of forces, judicial reform, and establishment of the key transitional institutions. The ambassador also stressed that the ongoing trials of certain individuals in the special court should not be seen as undermining the implementation of the peace agreement. Adding made the remarks while addressing the UN Security Council in New York City, United States, yesterday.
The government of South Sudan reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the full implementation of the revitalized peace agreement of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, despite the numerous challenges in which all of you here have mentioned. The revitalized peace agreement remains the only way out of the transition and the only way into stability in South Sudan. We remain steadfast in pursuing peace, reconciliation, and institutional reform of our government so that we could complete this transitional period, including the unification of armed forces, judicial reform, and the establishment of key transitional institutions.
The former Director General of Traffic Police, Kong John Accord, said he has never officially received the order transferring him to Awil as Police Commissioner, and he has dismissed the reports that he refused the transfer. Major General Kong was one of the 13 senior officers reshuffled yesterday by the Inspector General of Police, General Abraham Mayod Peter, after reshuffle. Unverified reports started circulating online said that the General Accord had rejected his new posting to Northern Bahar Ghazal State. But in a statement to the media, the former traffic boss said he only learned about the transfer through social media. He also said that the Brigadier General came to his office to close it down and disarm his bodyguards, an action he called inappropriate given his senior rank. General Kong added that he later called the Minister of Interior to confirm the transfer, but the minister said he had no knowledge of it. He said he now planned to take legal action against those who posted online claim he refused the transfer.
أنا قبل كده نقلوني من الراجع وأنا مشيت ما تميت يومين بعد الأوامر طلع بأنه أنت منقول أنا مشيت أنا ما عندي محل في جنوب السودان لو نقلوني فوق أقول ما ماشي وذي الكلام الحاصل. طيب اتصلت مع سيد الوزير قلت له سيد الوزير ده في كلام حاصل كده 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 قالوا ما عنده خبر. قلت له أنا سمعت من دولة أنت أنك أنا موجود وقال لي بنقولوا بدون ما يستشيرون أنا كوزير داخل. أنا من مبارك بالليل الساعة 2 لحد الصباح لحد هسه وجودي معكم مع ثلاثة. أنا ما مشيت ولا في زول كلمني أنت موجود بالنهار ولو زول بنقولوا بيجيبوا له جواب. لحد هسه أنا ما وصلني ورقة وأنا قاعد أشوف بس في الفيس وما بزول جاب لي كحاجة رسمية جاية من المكتب وأنا أرفضها. أنا ما رفضتها ولا عنفت.
And lastly, authorities in the Greater Pibor administrative area have launched a 3-day commissioners forum in Pibor aimed at strengthening local institutions and promoting lasting peace. The forum, which began yesterday, is being attended by county commissioners, traditional chiefs, local government officials, development partners, and civil society representatives. It's held under the theme Strengthening Local Administration and Resolving Challenges Through Dialogue. In an interview with iRadio, Jacob Werchom, Pibor Information Minister, said the forum brought together local leadership to chart a new course for effective and collaborative governance.
Yesterday, the Greater Pibor Administrative Area launched the landmark 3-day Commissioners Forum, which brought together coalitions of leadership to chart a new course for effective and collaborative local government. It brings together county commissioners, traditional chiefs, local government officials, developmental partners, and civil society representatives under the theme Strengthening Local Administration and Resolving Challenges Through Dialogue and Partnership. So this is what the forum was talking about yesterday. It was launched yesterday morning.
According to HM, stakeholders are expected to voice concerns affecting the area and propose solution by the end of the forum.
The forum is a direct for inclusive and sustainable solutions. So by bringing our commissioners who are at the front lines of administration together with our traditional leaders and our dedicated partners, we are creating the hardwire to build resilient institutions that fostering lasting peace. So this is our aim. And in the resolution, there will be a resolution made after the conference or after the forum, which the commissioners of the respective counties will also bring forward as a resolution.
The event is organized with the support of UNMISS Civil Affairs Division in collaboration with the Office of the Chief Administrator. You're listening to iRadio News, and now to the international news with my colleague Irene Jackson.
Thank you, my colleague Dico. Wife and son of Gabon's ousted leader given 20-year jail terms in two-day corruption trial. A court in Gabon has sentenced the former First Lady and the son of deposed President Ali Bongo to 20 years in jail following a two-day trial. On Tuesday night, Sylvia Bongo and Noureddine Bongo were found guilty of embezzlement and corruption after a trial that began a day earlier in their absence. They were both fined 100 million francs, which is equivalent to $177,000, with Noureddine ordered to pay an extra 1.2 CFA francs for financial damages suffered by the Gabonese state. Elsewhere, brothers charged with South African rapper's murder after extradition. Two brothers have been charged with the murder of South African rapper Kiernan Forbes, popularly known as AKA, following their extradition from neighboring Eswatini. Saibunga and Malusi were brought back to the country after the failure of a lengthy legal attempt to block their return. Forbes, an award-winning hip-hop artist, was killed outside a restaurant in the coastal city of Durban in 2023, along with his close friend, celebrity chef Tibolo, known as Tibbs. And finally, Trump says he has obligation to sue BBC over speech edit. US President Donald Trump has said he has an obligation to sue the BBC over the way a section of his speech was edited in a Panorama documentary. Speaking to Fox News, he said his 6th January 2021 speech had been butchered and the way it was presented had defrauded viewers. It is the first time Trump has spoken publicly about the matter since his lawyers wrote to the BBC and said he would sue for $1 billion in damages unless the corporation issues a retraction apologies and compensates him. And this has been the end of the regional and international news read to you by me, Irene Jackson. And now back to my colleague, Dico DeAndre.
Thank you so much, Irene. Up next, Madam Ajamis with the sport news.
The South Sudan Under-17 national football team arrived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia yesterday to join other regional teams for the CECAFA Under-17 African Cup of Nations qualification scheduled to kick off on November 15, 2025. The squad consists of 20 players, features a mix of young talent crew from various local clubs across South Sudan. 10 teams have been divided into two groups of 5, with the defending champions Uganda and host Ethiopia seated at the top of each group. The top 2 teams from each will advance to the semi-finals. The participating nations include Sudan, South Sudan, Burundi, Tanzania, Rwanda, Somalia, Kenya, and Djibouti, alongside Uganda and Ethiopia. The tournament will be hosted at Abebe Bikila Stadium and Der Dawa Stadium in Ethiopia, returning from November 15th to December 2nd, 2025. Nigeria and Gabon clash on Thursday in a semi-final of the African World Cup 2026 qualifiers at Hassan Stadium in Rabat, Morocco. The winner advances to the FIFA Play-Off tournament in March 2026, where the 2 World Cup spots are up for grabs. Nigeria earned their second round spot with a 4-win over Benin, finishing second in Group C, just behind South Africa. Under head coach Eric Chelle, who took over in January, the Super Eagles have improved dramatically, recording 4 wins wins and 2 draws in qualifying. Congo and Cameroon will also face off in the other semi-finals. The moves are one step closer to a chance at World Cup qualifications. These are some of the stories making headlines in the world of sports, and back to you, my colleague Dikodi Andrew.
Thank you so much, Madrama. With that being, it marked our end of our 1 p.m. news. But first, here are the headlines. The UN peacekeeping chief, Jean-Pierre, has warned that South Sudan's peace process is heading in a dangerous direction, putting the country's stability and the 2026 election at risk. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional has presented to the Parliament the Mining Act Amended Bill 2025, which seeks to repeal the current law and introduce strong oversight in the mining sector. On the 20th session of the Special Court trying a suspended First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 accused was cut short this morning at Freedom Hall because of power outage. That's the end of iRadio News. In case of any story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I was Dikodi Andrew. Thank you for listening.